Hello YouTube viewers and welcome to the Ahhculdee 400 from Shipping Raceway Park. Ahhculdee, you may be asking who is this guy? Well, he was a sponsor from last season, returning for the 2012 season. Check out his channel for some roller coaster reviews and online racing divisions. A new track we've never been on. I've never even seen this place in my entire life. Let's kick off a tour as we head down towards the very sharp Turn 1, modeled after the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These drivers will come onto the short chute with a rocketing pace into turn number 2. As they come through this moderate turn, they're going to come up the back straightaway, which is a little bit uphill, very bumpy. This is going to be a handful for these guys behind the wheel today. And as they come up into turn number 3, very fast, a little bit uphill though, so that banking will help them. Here's the restart procedures, just like through the Speedway. Get ready for some rough and ready intermediate track racing. In today's heat race, Bill Steinbach was having Chrysler-like problems, losing wiring to both his front suspension components, therefore losing steering, coming in a very disappointing third place and a DNF. He will kick things off today in third place. Chad Limbrunner, coming home in second place, will start in second in that 25 Plymouth. And Steve Brown in that 56 Ford Mustang will start in first in the Ahhculdee 400. Get ready for some rough and ready racing.
Am I supposed to stand here with the main camera?
3,
Yes, wait.
2,
I need
1. The inaugural race from Shipping Raceway Park is green. Comes the field up the back straight for the first time today. Steve Brown going a little bit wide out of 2. Chad Limbrunner hits the bump in the speedway, spins out, waving the first caution on lap 2.
A beautiful camera angle from high atop the speedway today. Great job to our camera crew. We'll also have another camera angle coming in here later. Low batteries on that camera, so we couldn't have it all throughout the race. Here's a green flag already after that restart. Steinbach has a little trouble, but gets his car turned around, and there's already a yellow flag on lap 3. Looks like Limbrunner went outside the speedway.
Track maintenance team getting ready for the restart. Chad Limbrunner gets his car back on the track after making a quick adjustment. Trying to keep it from flipping up the back straight, slowing down for the restart procedures. Just like Moon Speedway, green flags out once again. There they go up through turn number 1, bouncing as they hit that bump. Steve Brown loose out of turn number 2. Chad Limbrunner a little bit tight, working lap 5 here. As the field begins to spread out in this race.
Finally, we see Limbrunner trying to catch up as he's a lap down to the leader, and there's a flip. Brown goes around, and then that causes a red flag here. Already, those bumps in the speedway, they're very thick on this track. Very tough. Not a lot of aggressive driving. The drivers are going to have to get used to this, and there's already a wreck there after a restart.
The bumps here are about double the size of the entrance to Moon Speedway, that crack there that we're used to seeing. Drivers have to adapt to get ready to this one to win this race. Looks like out of turn number 3, Steve Brown will cross the line in the lead. Chad Limbrunner with a major flip in turn 2. Here's an instant replay of this one. You can see just out of the top right corner of your screen, came into the corner way too hot. The car went upside down, came to rest on its door.
That was a hard lick. He just whipped around, and the back end of the car whipped around, and he was on his side. And then Limbrunner has some more aggressive driving with Steinbach there pushing him around. They all get it going. He has third place now, hits the cone, and he'll have some trouble there on the third turn.
That will wave a yellow flag on lap 10. Chad Limbrunner goes onto the track to pick up his car, moving expeditiously back to the driver's stand. Field coming around for another restart attempt. Steinbach will be in the outside lane. He will come around. There it is. Green flag's back in the air. He clears the field going into turn number 1, and he'll rocket down the short chute. Steve Brown upside down in turn number 2. Emergency crews immediately on the scene.
Definitely some trouble for all the drivers here. They got to get used to these these cracks in the speedway, or we're going to have problems all race. I'll tell you what, we need to see a lot less aggressive driving until the end of this event.
Restart attempt. Limbrunner backs up to roll around for this one. He will hit the line, and the field charges off towards turn 1. Steve got up into the grass there, and so did Bill Steinbach. That will wave another yellow flag on lap 12. A very caution-filled race. First time we've been at this track. Drivers trying to adapt to these bumps in the speedway, the sharper turns. We've never seen conditions like this. Bill Steinbach will be the driver who comes around for this restart attempt. Looks like he's going to cut through the infield.
Well, you know, the only other venue that we have is Blacktop, so we really don't have to deal with issues there. Here's a restart. Steve Brown has second place, and he's battling it out with Limburner. Limburner just steals it from him, but hits the bump, so he has to slow down, and that'll give Brown second place back. Steinbach has the lead here in his red Mustang. Brown seems to push Limburner, and then he gets loose. Lap 15 here. Steinbach gets his car going. No caution there for him.
He'll fall all the way back to third place, really loose out of two, you can see at that time. Limburner now enjoying clean air up front as Bill Steinbach tries to make the pass on Steve Brown. And two cars flipped this time in turn number 2 on lap 16. The first one was Chad Limburner, then Steve Brown came in too hot. He got hit in the left rear quarter panel by Bill Steinbach and flipped. Took a nice tumble over there.
Definitely. These cars are taking a beating today. Hopefully the teams won't have to spend too much money repairing them. And there's a green flag, and Steinbach cuts to the outside in the red Mustang, hitting the black one, and then Brown goes around, gets his car going, and there's a battle for second once again between the green and black cars.
Steve Brown falling faster. And a big flip and a big wreck in turn 1. The first one was for Steve Brown over in turn 3, barrel rolling, and then Chad Limburner lost control and hit the Moon Speedway wall right in the center of the speedway and knocked it down. What a hit for that Plymouth.
Both cars bounced there after their respective wrecks. We'll have a restart here. Limburner's going to just drive backwards to the restart line. He's going to get the middle lane, and then Steinbach's going to come in on the outside. Green flag already, lap 20, and Brown gets the short end of that stick as they go into turn 1 off battling, and he'll actually get the lead back for a short second, and he's back in third place now. Steinbach got his car going after he was on the cone.
Steve Brown squirrely out of turn 2, but he's able to hold on to that Ford Mustang, drafting up into turn number 1. And a big wreck. Chad Limburner flips over again in turn 2. You can see the look of dismay on his face. Bill Steinbach wrecked in turn number 1 of that 28 Ford Mustang. The 56 Ford is at the restart line waiting for the rest of the field to come around to the line. Drivers preparing for another restart today. Chad will be the driver who comes around. Hits the line. There it is. He'll floor the throttle, and they'll go towards turn number 1, only to have 2 spins on their way over there. Down the back straightaway, Steve gets into the cone in 3.
No caution there by the officials, and that's a real bad break for Limburner as he's all the way in third place. Brown has some trouble after hitting the crack there in turn 1. We have a yellow flag on lap 24, kind of out of view, but we can see Brown running to get his car outside of the speedway.
That was a yellow flag on lap 24. 11 laps of racing to go in this race. 35 laps like a regular event. Green flag's already back in the air. Bill Steinbach, the leader. Chad in second and Steve in third. There's a little bit of an instant and over in turn 2. They get it rolling, though, and Steve Brown wrecks in turn 1, getting caught on the cone, and Chad comes in, drives into the rear bumper of that Ford. That will wave a yellow flag on lap 26. Now we have 9 to go. Steve is stuck in the grass.
Got to get that car moving after that huge wreck there hitting the cone, and then Limburner comes in taking the same line he did, also hitting the cone, pushing him out into the grass. You know, if he hadn't hit the grass and would have kept the car going, that might not have been a caution. We have a green flag already. Steinbach gets pushed outside of the recommended line there you see coming into 1.
Yellow flag on lap 27. Another one for Chad Limburner. Here's an instant replay of this wreck. On lap 16, actually, another wreck. Going into the corner, you can see the car leaning to the right from the sharp angle of the turn, and then Steve Brown got hit by Bill Steinbach. These cars want to flip so easy, with the track being so rough, and the pavement's rough. Then you add in the bumps, they really are fighting these automobiles. Green flag is out once again. There's our another shot over in turn 2. See Bill Steinbach's Ford Mustang. The car's bouncing in that crack. Bill Steinbach now holding the lead. Chad in second and Steve in third.
Incredible for him to come back after that incident and have the lead. But he sure does. He knows how to drive that car. He's caught onto this speedway. Brown knocking over 2 cones and then still keeping his car moving. They're almost a lap down here to the red Mustang.
Bill Steinbach rounding turn 3, catching up fast to the back of this field, and Chad Limburner lost control of that Plymouth and barreled into the grass, and then you can see Steve Brown in the bottom left hand screen of your corner behind the tire. Lost control, got stuck. Lost a little bit of radio reception. You know, we really haven't talked about this today, but it is very far from the driver's stand to the opposite end of the speedway.
Exactly, and if you don't have your antenna position just right, you're going to have some frequency issues. Steinbach has said that he's had it. Brown's team as well. Brown actually, his antenna is actually taped to the top of the car, the roof there, but he's actually not having as many problems as Steinbach is today. All right, and here's almost a green flag. The officials are going to wave it dead, though. They're going to say that the two drivers at the restart line jumped it before Brown had a chance to hit the line specifically.
Bill Steinbach making sure that antenna is up in the air. Steve Brown rolling around for the green flag. 3 wide over into turn number 1, and that's not going to work. Steve Brown and Bill Steinbach head off into the grass.
It worked for Limburner. He would have had the lead. And this is going to be a green-white checker attempt. So let's take a look at what happened here again. Look at that. 3 wide racing. Absolutely amazing. And then Brown just starts bumping. The back of his car just starts bumping up and vibrating.
Coming around for this green-white checkered attempt. Steve Brown with a good jump on this one. He'll bounce over the crack. He's going to lose the lead and fall all the way to 3rd place. And there'll be another yellow flag, which will deem the second green-white checkered attempt.
The Mopar and the 2011 Ford are going to get turned around. The 2012 Mustang is still rolling. And he'll have inside lane choice. Brown will go around to take the green flag. There it is.
A poor restart for Chad Limburner, and Bill Steinbach lost steering going into turn number 1. That wiring issue may come up to haunt him late in this race, but we're getting an official word from the garage area that it was his antenna that fell over as he headed towards the corner from these bumps on the track.
All right, is this going to be the 3rd attempt? I believe so. No cautions here. Remember, no cautions. Whatever happens, happens. If your car dies, if something like that happens to Steinbach, he has to run out and get the car, get it working, catch back up and win this thing.
He's making sure that antenna stays on, doesn't want to lose it and lose the race for that little factor.
And think about how nerve-wracking this is. The 3rd green-white attempt. Amazing.
Preparing for another late race restart. Here we go. Green flag is out. Up through turn number 1, side by side. Bill Steinbach. The antenna fell over on that Ford Mustang. He darts onto the track to fix it. The white flag is out. Chad is leading. His leg hits Chad Limburner's car. Chad will lose 1st place to Steve Brown, and he will come around to cross the line in 1st place in the Ahhculdee 400. Bill Steinbach just rounding turn 3. Not even to the start-finish line yet to get 3rd position. And Steve Brown collects his 2nd win of this 2012 season. Chad Limburner came home in a very disappointing 2nd due to Bill Steinbach's leg actually being on the track while he was tending to his vehicle. And then Steinbach came home in 3rd place after having that antenna collapse.
Yeah, and that's something, once again, the sanctioning body's going to have to take a look at. If you run out to fix your car, what's going to happen if someone does happen to run into you? Something you're going to have to look at. Brown got around it okay, and kudos to him for avoiding that obstacle and winning the race.
The action on the track is heating up, and so is the weather as the summer months approach. So stay tuned right here for the rest of this 2012 season on the Three Rivers RC Racing Channel.